Exploring the impact of remote work on employee engagement and well being in the recruitment process outsourcing. This is a comparative analysis of before and after COVID 19 for Dr. Diane Sanchez's Department of Business Human Resource Management class. The fast worldwide spread of COVID 19 has hastened remote work's rise to prominence in the labor market. The recruitment process outsourcing (RPO) sector, which is heavily reliant on personal and communication, has experienced substantial restructuring in response to the need for firms to continue operating during lockdowns and social distancing measures. In this dynamic industry, there are valid concerns regarding the effect of remote work versus regular office employment and employee engagement and well being. To determine how remote work impacts employee engagement and health in the RPO business, research comparing working conditions before and after the COVID 19 epidemic is being conducted. According to Bakovic 2021, working remotely offers both benefits and cons. It increases workers' autonomy and flexibility, but if there aren't strong support networks in place, it may be difficult and even harmful to their engagement and health. The RPO sector, with its concentration on talent, networks, and strong communication lines, provides an intriguing setting for studying the interplay of social interactions, organizational processes, and distant labor dynamics. This study will look at how remote work practices have changed workers' involvement and sentiments about their jobs in this specific sector in order to help firms, HR policies, and workplace interventions optimize remote work arrangements in the post-COVID era. Using theoretical frameworks from organizational psychology, sociology, and management studies, this research seeks to provide a full understanding of the complex dynamics that exist inside the RPO's industry's distant workplace. It tries to provide insight on the significance of sociocultural elements in defining distant work experiences by investigating both quantitative indicators and qualitative narratives. Furthermore, it attempts to illustrate the variety of consequences that remote work has on employee attitudes, behaviors, and performance indicators. The study examines the work environment before and after the pandemic to identify major trends, obstacles, and possibilities related to the adoption of remote work in RPO business. Explaining how remote work affects employee engagement, job satisfaction, stress, and overall wellness may help businesses improve their remote work strategies and cultivate a resilient, adaptable, and high-performing workforce in a geographically dispersed, digitally driven workforce. Closing the theory-practice gap, the primary goal of this research is to give evidence-based suggestions that may help with strategic and operational decision-making inside the RPO business and beyond. Its primary goal is to shed light on the complexities of distant work, dynamics in a specific environment, adding to the current conversation about modern work issues such as organizational resilience, employee well-being, and remote work management. Prior to the COVID 19 epidemic, There had been much study on the effects of remote work on many elements of the organizational life, including employee engagement and health. This research review investigates the complex linkages between remote work, employee autonomy, engagement, and well-being, with a particular emphasis on the recruitment process outsourcing market. Pandita and Ray 2018 conducted a meta-analysis to examine the influence of employee engagement and talent management on talent retention. The study's findings, which demonstrate the strong relationship between talent management strategies, employee engagement, and talent retention, emphasize the importance of strategic HR activities in promoting employee commitment and loyalty to the firm. Astacha 2023 performed qualitative research on British workers during the pandemic to investigate the impact of remote work on employee engagement. They discovered that although working remotely gave individuals increased flexibility and independence, it also introduced challenges such as loneliness and difficulty separating work and personal life, which influenced how devoted they were to their positions. This underscores the need to understand the complicated dynamics of remote work arrangements and how they affect employee engagement. Boscovic 2021 found that remote work had a moderating influence on employee autonomy and engagement. Employees who work remotely and have more autonomy and control over their work processes are more devoted to their professions, according to his research. Organizational support systems and favorable work environments determine the extent to which remote work increases participation. This highlights the interconnectedness between employee engagement, autonomy, and remote work. Remote work challenges and opportunities. The flexibility and autonomy that remote work provides may boost employee engagement and productivity. However, it also introduces issues such as loneliness, communication difficulties, and difficulty balancing work and family duties, all of which may have a detrimental influence on worker satisfaction and well-being. Companies must be fully aware of these potential hazards if they want to optimize remote employment. Implications for the RPO industry. Because of its dependence on talent and reputation for communication-intensive work, the RPO business is especially vulnerable to remote work in terms of employee engagement and well-being. To be successful, the RPO must understand how distant work dynamics influence areas such as effective communication, relationship development, and staff management. This research compares remote work practices before and after COVID-19 to uncover the particular difficulties and possibilities that RPO organizations have in sustaining employee engagement and well-being in remote work contexts. Pandita and Ray 2018 have shown the close association between talent management and employee engagement. Successful talent management methods have a significant influence on employee engagement. These strategies include performance evaluation, career development, recruitment, and training. Organizations can boost employee engagement and talent retention by providing opportunities for professional development and creating a pathway that connects personal ambitions to business objectives. Pandita and Ray 2018 did a meta analysis and discovered that employee engagement and talent management techniques have a significant influence on talent retention. Engaged employees are more likely to stay with the company and reduce turnover expenses. Businesses should invest in talent management techniques that prioritize employee engagement in order to attract, develop, and retain excellent employees. The results of Pandita and Ray's 2018 study have significant implications for remote workers and RPOs. To maintain its staff and keep them from leaving, the RPO industry needs people management approaches that are customized to the particular problems of remote labor. Technology, online learning and development programs, and an emphasis on cooperation and open communication may enable RPOs to overcome some of the challenges associated with remote work and retain their best staff. The literature on talent management, employee engagement, and retention provides valuable insights into these challenges. Remote work arrangements are demanding and have an impact on organizational effectiveness. This study aims to provide a better understanding of the advantages and downsides of remote labor in RPO businesses by synthesizing information from many disciplines. Strategic initiatives to promote employee engagement, talent retention, and organizational success in the changing workplace may benefit from the results. The dynamics of remote work are characterized by a complex web of personal, organizational, and environmental elements that all have an impact on employee engagement and health. The purpose of this study is to provide a comprehensive understanding of the impact or the implications of remote work for the RPO industry, synthesizing existing research insights, and assist organizations in optimizing their remote work arrangements and promoting a culture of engagement and well-being in the post-pandemic period. The constant changes in the RPO market pose a significant disadvantage. The RPO sector is always altering and developing owing to a multitude of variables such as market upheavals, technological developments, and changing customer expectations. This underlying dynamic places certain restrictions on research in this sector. One significant drawback of RPOs is their inconsistency in recruitment procedures. The best recruiting techniques, processes, and tactics may vary significantly between firms, projects, and customers. This diversity may have an impact on employee engagement and well-being because diverse recruiting practices expose individuals to a variety of pressures, expectations, and difficulties As a result, research on RPO distant work may fail to adequately address the experience's inherent diversity. Another impediment is the difficulties caused by RPO market biases peculiar to certain industries. The RPO market covers a wide range of customers and industries, each with its own set of goals, fundamental values, and corporate cultures. Prejudices particular to the RPO business may influence recruiting practices, employee engagement methods, and general workplace dynamics. While one RPO servicing healthcare practitioners may promote compassion and customized care, another focusing on technology could value technical expertise and new ideas. Research studies exclusive to the RPO business may lose their usefulness if they can't apply their findings to the industries. Studies investigating the influence of remote work, employee engagement, and well being may struggle to capture changes over time because of the business's rapid improvements. By constantly collecting data and performing follow up evaluations, longitudinal studies can track changes in employee experiences and organizational results. Maintaining longitudinal research designs in a fast paced business like RPO, where customer requirements and industry trends change frequently, can be difficult and time consuming. The limits imposed by the dynamic RPO market, study results may not be applicable in a broader context. Because each RPO firm is unique, generalizing results from one setting to another is difficult. While research undertaken within particular RPO organizations or projects may give valuable insights into specialized challenges, such studies may be limited in their applicability to other organizational settings or industries. Studies that investigate distant work via remote points of contact have several limits that limit their ability to fully appreciate the intricacies of current work. There are some things that make research results hard to use and generalize, like how the RPO market is always changing, how different the hiring process is, and the fact that longitudinal research is hard to do. Researchers must overcome these constraints by accounting for contextual variables, following tight research methodologies, and maintaining open lines of contact with industry practitioners if their studies are to effectively depict the reality of remote labor in RPO business. Suggestions. Pandita and Ray's literature analysis give valuable insights into tactics that recruitment process outsourcing firms may utilize to improve employee satisfaction and work-related motivation among their remote workers. One of the most important suggestions for RPO is to emphasize the development of a good work-life balance for remote workers. Helping the remote workers build a sense of community is one of the most important things an individual can do to help them feel like they belong in a company. In this part, we give RPOs feasible options based on their proposals for improving their workers' remote work experience. Working remotely increases the risk of burnout and job dissatisfaction because it's harder to distinguish between work and personal time. RPOs may help workers create clear distinctions between work and play by implementing rules and procedures like setting work hours, encouraging frequent breaks, and prohibiting after hours work engagement. When workers have access to time management and stress reduction tools, they may better they may be better equipped to manage their personal and professional lives. RPOs may use technology to build online communities in which remote workers may interact, share ideas, and form relationships. Online support groups, networking gatherings, and virtual team building exercises are some examples of this kind of event. RPOs may create a sense of community and camaraderie among remote workers by allowing them to engage and form relationships even when they are physically separated. Organizations that offer resources may launch programs to assist workers in managing their mental health seminars and counseling services, as well as online tools for stress management and resilience development, are some examples of this kind of assistance. RPO should also support their workers without passing judgment and encourage them to get treatment as needed in order to destigmatize mental health conversations and promote an open culture. RPOs must invest in reliable communication platforms and solutions to ensure that their remote workers can engage and collaborate effectively. This category comprises project management, instant messaging, and video conferencing software, which allows for real time file sharing and communication among users. RPOs must ensure effective communication and clear expectations for remote workers to ensure their performance. RPO organizations that use these tactics may enhance worker happiness, well being, and productivity. Resource planning organizations may help remote workers flourish by fostering a sense of community, supporting mental health needs, maintaining open lines of communications, and emphasizing work life balance. This section describes ADISA's 2023 methodology, including the reasoning for selecting this particular strategy and the techniques utilized in data collection and analysis. So, first off, quantitative surveys. We would distribute questionnaires as part of the quantitative aspect of the research to gather data on remote work, employee engagement, and job satisfaction, and industry viewpoints. Researchers may use surveys to gather large volumes of data in an organized and methodical way from a broad sample of individuals. ADISA are likely to utilize tried and true survey approaches such as validated scales or questionnaires to evaluate crucial factors such as engagement levels, contentment with remote work arrangements, and perceived organizational support. Qualitative interviews. Using qualitative interviews and quantitative questionnaires, ADISA collect information about RPO workers' attitudes, experiences, and individual interpretations of remote work. Qualitative interviews may assist researchers in comprehending complicated events by providing crucial context specific insights that quantitative indicators alone may miss. Open ended questions and probes allow researchers to dive into the complexities of remote work situations, revealing themes, patterns, and personal narratives. As a result, they may be useful in RPO employee engagement research. The sampling strategy most likely use purposeful strategy purposeful sampling to choose quantitative survey respondents and qualitative interview participants. Quantitative survey respondents might originate from a variety of RPOs, each with its own size, location, and function, to give a thorough examination of viewpoints and ideas. Researchers conducting qualitative interviews might purposefully seek out people with a diversity of remote work experiences. The contact survey participants electronically or via online platforms to collect data. We keep the participant replies secret and anonymous. A survey may contain closed-ended Likert scale items, open-ended questions for qualitative input, and demographic questions. Qualitative interviews ask participants to share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences with remote work in the RPO business. These interviews may be performed in person, electronically, one-on-one, or in small groups. The interviews are audio recorded and transcribed verbatim for additional research. Some statistical approaches used to identify patterns, correlations, and linkages in quantitative survey data includes regression modeling, correlation analysis, and descriptive statistics. Thematic analysis is a way for researchers to find and define recurring themes, ideas, and narratives in qualitative interview transcripts. Integrating qualitative and quantitative data allows researchers to get a more thorough picture of the phenomena under investigation, increasing the validity and credibility of their conclusions. ADISA's 2023 Mixed Method Research provides a complete and in-depth investigation of how remote work affects employee engagement in an RPO organization. By combining quantitative surveys and qualitative interviews, researchers may gain a better understanding of the complexities of distant work, dynamics in development, evidence-based strategies for promoting employee engagement and well-being within RPO firms. This allows for more detailed recordings of employee experiences. Conclusion. Before the coronavirus pandemic, 17% of the U.S. employees worked from home 5 days or more per week, a share that increased to 44% during the pandemic. The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the remote working trend as quarantines and lockdowns made commuting and working in an office close to impossible for millions around the world. Remote work, also called telework or working from home, provided a solution with employees performing their roles away from the office, supported by specialized technology, eliminating the commute to an office to remain connected with colleagues and clients. The outcomes of this study show how remote work impacts the engagement and well-being of RPO personnel. Analyzing quantitative survey data and qualitative interview narratives enabled the investigation of distant work experiences, job satisfaction, and organizational results. Important themes and patterns were identified. Although remote work may provide chances for autonomy and flexibility, it is also commonly acknowledged that obstacles associated with remote work, including social isolation, communication hurdles, and blurring work-life boundaries, can have an influence on RPO workers' engagement and well-being. Here's a list of references that were used. And that concludes my presentation. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, my name is Astacha Jones.